Okay, I'd like to call to order the regular scheduled meeting, Scott, of April 13th, 2023, of the Elk Grove Park District. Roll call, please.
President Cook,
Here?
Commissioner Bianchi,
Here.
Commissioner Carlson,
Here.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Here.
Commissioner Walls is absent.
Okay. Minutes approval. All in favor of approving the minutes from March 23rd, 2023, Committee of the Whole, and March 2023 regular meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 4-0 on that. Public communication, any comments from the audience?
Mr. President, I have no comments at this time, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alan. Correspondence, do any of the commissioners have any correspondence?
Nope.
Recommendations for approval. Item A, acceptance of the total base bid from Stenstrom Petroleum Services Incorporated, Rockford, Illinois, for the Fuel Island project in the amount of $129,864.
So moved. Second.
Okay, questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Bianchi,
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
President Cook.
Yes. Item B, approval of the 5-year lease agreement with Harris Golf Carts for the Yamatrack Golf Car Fleet Management System, including GPS, in the amount of $33,750 per year.
So moved. Second.
Okay, and Ben, looking at the pack, and I asked you, but I want to make sure we clarify. This is going to start when? We're going to have a
2024.
start date in here,
2024,
or when we get the carts, right?
or yeah, well, usually they'll come in springtime.
Okay, and that'll be 5 years, and the lease is gonna allow payments, 6 payments, 6 monthly payments each year, right?
Correct.
Between October and, or May and October. So if you just make sure on the contract that we're signing that it specifies that will start, after we receive the cards.
Correct.
Okay. That's all the question I had. Any other questions?
Nope.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi,
Yes.
President Cook.
Yes. Item C, approval of a 2-year electrical energy commodity sales agreement with Direct Energy at 0.062 kilowatt hours.
So moved. Second.
Okay. Any questions on that? What were we paying in the last contract?
Last contract, it was lower. If you remember, we went out for bid or quotes during the middle of the pandemic and energy prices were at all-time lows. 0.05738 kilowatts. So this is less than our contract that we had prior to the one that just expired.
Okay, and how long is this contract for?
It's for 2 years.
Any other questions? Yes, Bill, do you have a question?
No, I like to laugh, that's all.
I asked for, I know it's in the packet, but for the public to know how long we're doing it.
I know.
Thank you. I'm glad you're happy.
Laughing.
It's in the motion, that's what it is. It says 2 years in the motion, that's all.
Oh, okay. Okay, we have a motion second. Let's go ahead and roll call, please.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi,
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
President Cook.
Yes. Okay, approval of a 2-year natural energy commodity sales agreement with Constellation in the amount, at .41 therm.
So moved.
Second.
And that's also for 2 years, right?
Correct.
Hey, come on, I was off a week, give me a break. Any questions?
I didn't say anything.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bianchi,
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
President Cook.
Yes. And lastly, E, approval of a 2-year natural gas energy commodity sales agreement with Hudson Energy at .4328 therms.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi.
Yes.
President Cook.
Yes.
I did have a question on that one. What's the big difference why we gotta have two of them instead of just someone for natural gas energy? I mean,
So-
why go to Hudson?
They call them transport accounts. Those are our bigger, larger volume accounts. A lot of people won't bid on the smaller accounts. They're more similar to your residential accounts. So that's why the two different vendors. Constellation is our current vendor for our transport accounts, which include the admin building, Rainbow Falls Community Center, Hattendorf Pavilion, and 140. So all of our other ones are fall under the choice.
Okay.
Okay, next items for information. Tiffany for leisure services. Take it away.
Awesome. So the Adult Center is up to 269 members. And in March, they had 90 attendees at their Lucky Luncheon. The first dancing with the band also went well. They had 82 people in attendance. For aquatics, Spring Break Aqua Camp had 92 total registrations compared to 22 last year. Also, swim lessons were at 107 for the month of March compared to 105 last year. Aqua wellness numbers for the month were at 1,153 compared to 928 last year. For adult athletics, adult softball leagues are scheduled to start the first week in May. We have our co-ed leagues and we have our senior leagues. Registration is still open for those leagues. We have adult pickleball lessons starting in May. We started with just Monday night classes, but it filled so quickly. We added a Tuesday night class, and now both nights are already filled with 16 participants each. For youth athletics instruction, Shotokan Karate began a new session. There are currently 70 participants. Volleyball prep clinic has 26 for the spring session. All the tennis classes sold out with 31 total participants in the 3 classes. Tumbling is at 160 for the current session, and Hop Shots is at 81 participants for the current session. For our youth leagues, travel baseball, house baseball and softball are all going to be outside as soon as weather permits. House softball closed registration at 200 athletes and baseball at 233. Spring rec soccer closed with 281 players, and they're still working to accommodate some waitlisters. The football 7-on-7 season's going well with 99 players, and they have those across 10 teams, grades 3 through 8, which is up 25 players from last year. And spring cheer is wrapping up their season this Saturday, April 15th, with their final competition. For the last month at Audubon Indoor Skate Park, there were 119 admissions. For cultural arts, the Wizard of Oz production was a huge success with 3 out of the 4 shows selling out. The total ticket sales were 1,078. At customer service, for the month of March, there were 4,183 registrations processed, and over 1,500 of those were walk-in, and then 2,600 were on web track. For early childhood, we are already at 110 registrants for next school year, which is 18 more than where we were at this time last year. For fitness center, for the total group X participants in March, we had 1,851. And yoga, we're at 370. So both of those numbers were up from last year. Personal training was at 153 for the month compared to 97 at this time last year. In open gym, we had 823 drop-ins. So basketball was still in the lead at 496, volleyball 136, pickleball 106, and racquetball 85. And then the big news for the fitness center that you'll see in your update is that as of the end of March, we surpassed our 2,500 member mark. At the museum, they hosted their excellent Easter celebration this past weekend with 43 families in attendance. For rentals, for the month of March, we had 91 total rentals. And in 22, we only had 36 for the month. For our Kids Club program, we had 1,927 registrations for the month of March and 206 for school day off. For all of our upcoming events and important dates, we have Dancing with the Bands on May 4th. On May 5th, we have a Parent Night Out event. On May 5th, we also have a Murder Mystery Dinner. May 6th is Mother's Day Tea Time. May 11th and 12th is the Spring Bazaar. And May 13th is Mother's Day Dinner. And that concludes my report.
Okay, any questions for Tiffany?
Can you look at your notes when I get the finance report? Because I can't remember what questions I asked you, but I know. I
It was the
had
Audubon Skate Park, why
There might
the,
have been one or two different questions, and I don't know what they asked.
one
you.
was one was the, why was money coming out of Pirates Cove, and it was salary. And then the other one was admissions, and I was talking to Irene, and it's so weather dependent. We had such a light, mild winter that unless it's really cold, people aren't going inside, they're staying outside at our fabulous outdoor skate park. So that's what both of those questions were, and then my notes.
And you had asked about the finance, getting a copy of it. I can either give you mine, Alan, or have Brad make one for when there's a finance report thing.
Thank you.
So Tiffany, any explanation about the large increase in rentals, almost 3 times as many rentals? I mean, that's great news that we've been able to identify what we're doing right to
Yeah,
continue.
there's a ton of stuff that staff are doing right. First and foremost, the staff are doing an incredible job. So we all know Deb's been here for a while, as well as Catherine, but Stacy's new and she's great. She has had more tours in here touring facilities in the last 6 months than I've seen since I started. We did launch last year the new online inquiry form, and I feel like we got all of the kinks worked out to where we're able to respond to our customers in a more timely manner and get them in for tours and get them booked. We also worked with IT on some sign now features so we can more easily obtain our contracts and documents like electronically instead of snail mail and or having them come in and sign. We have worked a ton with marketing the last year and really just getting the word out on the facilities that we do have available and reaching a ton of markets that we hadn't booked before. So I think it's really a combination of everything. I mean, staff's hard work and effort and all of the departments here at the district really help me out.
Keep up the good work. Okay, Parks and Planning, Mark?
Yeah, so above and beyond what I had included in my written notes, written updates, we started the work at 140 Lively, the maintenance facility roof. They started today, actually, removing the stone ballast on the roof. That should take about 3 to 4 weeks to complete. And then I had an update about Marshall Park. I met with Hacienda Landscaping to have a kind of a pre-construction meeting to sign contracts and stuff like that. We didn't get into details, but they're looking towards more the end of summer to get started. We're really waiting for equipment to show up. I spoke with Landscape Structures. He doesn't think the equipment that we ordered, I think it was 3 weeks ago now, will be here till like mid-August. So I don't think it really behooves Hacienda to start and then leave it sit there for a certain amount of time and then start again when the equipment comes. That way we can keep the park open for the early part of this summer and utilize it, and then complete or get started in earnest late July and get the project completed before the end of the year. When I spoke with him, I said my goal is to have the park opened up in spring of 2024. He didn't think that there was a problem with that. We're going to meet again next week to meet on site and talk in more detail about it. But there's just a lot of questions about when the materials are going to show up and what they can do when. They've got some projects that they're committed to as well, but we want to make sure that it's a successful project, and I think maybe waiting until the equipment shows up to get started is probably for the best. We're working on finalizing permits with the village I think that's gonna be wrapped up here pretty quick, and otherwise, I think we're in good shape.
Any small discussion on this prevailing wage, their late payments for union compensation? Obviously, all the commissioners got an update on that in special mailing, so.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to see this moving forward in the middle of the summer, or, you know what, in October where there's a hassle, so did you have a conversation with
Yeah,
them?
I spoke with the gentleman that wrote the letter and had a great discussion with him, just to make sure that things are being done the way that they're supposed to be done. I will utilize him as a resource to ensure that Hacienda is on track with what they're supposed to be doing. And really seemed like it was kind of a fun conversation to have with the guys. It was pretty funny, but yeah.
Well, that's a big contract, but I know smaller contracts end up getting dropped just because of that the unions, it's a lot of pressure on these people, so I would hate to have picket lines out there or have to have a vote that we are gonna drop them because they're not making payments, that's all.
Correct, so I brought this up with Hacienda as well, as, hey, we know this is an issue, we don't want to see this going forward, and right now I have support through both parties, and I don't foresee it being a problem, but hopefully we can stay on top of it through working with Ryan from Labor's Pension Helper.
Okay.
Any reason or explanation for why the equipment's delayed?
I got the standard shipping delays that we've had in the last couple of years for everything. No, not.
I mean, I assume when we ordered this stuff, we asked them about when the equipment was gonna be delivered, so, or don't we ask that, we just?
Actually, I didn't ask when I ordered it. I made an assumption that it would be here, you know, within 4 to 8 weeks, and now, yeah, I was wrong on that one, but it's just, everybody's got the same issues, whether it's landscape structures or game time, it's just materials.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure we know that for a fact. If we don't ask when we're doing the bidding, I mean, we should, in the future, I would say, I would hope that we would ask when is delivery gonna be able to come? Is it, so it meets our schedule of installing a playground, so, or a park. We're installing this now in the fall, winter, so we've got the whole year it's not being used, right? Versus early in the spring, starting, and maybe we have it for summer, spring.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, delays a year of usage, I guess, is what, by the delay, so I would think we'd wanna ask for buying this equipment.
So the reason why I didn't ask, or it didn't really come to mind, is because it was spec'd out this way, and there was no, I mean, especially the dynamo
Yeah.
structure, that's a custom-made thing, so we specifically asked for that, so, it's kind of like,
Yeah.
it is what it is. With the landscape structures, again, I did make an assumption, 1 to 2 months, that it would be here, but, yeah, I hadn't anticipated that it would be late August, mid-August.
Any other questions for Mark? Business services update, Brad.
Still have lots of positions open. I know the golf course, the greensman, they want to do a good job. I know it's a seasonal position, but they average, or most weeks are working close to 40, if not over 40 weeks. Obviously, it's weather dependent. Lifeguards as well, as many other positions for the summer. So check out the website to get more information and apply. IT did a good job with the theater production. I know they were finalizing and working on that this week. It was, from what I saw, very good on both ends for the performance and IT, streaming or videotaping and producing. So golf course, golf season is upon us. Obviously this week, other golfers are taking advantage of it. We've had almost 1,000 rounds since Sunday. Season opening scramble is this weekend, followed by an acoustic performer. Double Brood will be playing out there. You do not need to play in the golf outing to enjoy the musical event. And then check out the website. The new website launched a couple weeks ago. It's got a lot of more information on our upcoming events, things of that nature, so the staff did a really good job along with marketing, so I appreciate that. And as always, you can book your tea time online. That concludes my report.
Okay, any questions for Brad? Okay, marketing, Kelly.
Okay, we've been really busy working with all the departments, trying to get all of our summer facilities ready with signage and collateral and getting some of the information posted. So with that being said, we have been working with fitness as well. You know, our e-blast last week had a 44% engagement rate on the e-news, which is very, very good, you know, for people opening and connecting with that. So, and some of the information that we posted in there were some information on the lockers, conduct rules, the No March campaign that was very, very popular, the no fee enrollment for the March campaign. So that was great. And then some of the other highlights, we did a focus group with the Salt Creek PTA and the Sheila Ray Adult Center to just try to get some more information on how they like to connect with the Park District and, you know, what are some successful means of communication and what they're looking for. And that was very successful. And the other thing that we have coming up, we'll be doing a community needs assessment survey, and we're going to be launching that late spring with the Public Research Group. We worked with them in the past on the last one, and I think that was back in 2016 or 17, I'm trying to remember. But, so it's been a while, and so we're gonna be doing that again, and then. 16, okay. And then, last but not least, the summer guide will be coming to everybody's homes the beginning of May. So please get that and look through that, because we have programs and opportunities for all ages and a lot of really exciting things happening at the Park District this summer. So we will be having resident registration May 17th and non-resident registration on May 22nd for the program. And that's all I have.
Okay, fantastic. Any questions for Kelly? Yeah, Executive Director.
Thanks, President Cook. I want to piggyback on a report about aquatics from Tiffany to let the board know that we're at 90 lifeguards as of today, which is fantastic. We got about a month and a half to go, so we're looking really good. I attest that a lot to Katie and her tenacity and going out and recruiting. So that's great news. I have a couple other ones. The annual AARP Tax Preparers Breakfast is tomorrow. Unfortunately, we won't be able to make it, but it's a sign of the season. Tax season's ending, and I just want to thank all the volunteers that help process. I don't know how many tax returns again this year they'll be coming and doing a presentation, but it's just great service for the community, and just want to thank them again for doing that. And then I would be remiss if I didn't congratulate Commissioner Tom Cook for being elected for his 5th straight Park Commissioner appointment. He is the longest tenured commissioner serving the Elk Grove community. Congratulations, Tom.
Thank you. That's all the people cannot hear.
And that concludes my report.
Okay, any questions for Ben? Any old business?
Yeah, I think it could have been a month ago, but we challenged staff to send out a postcard for lighting at our new Marshall Park, the project moving forward, the $3 million project, if we were gonna add lighting. Well, the feedback came in that you guys read. More people wanted the lights around the neighborhood that didn't want it. So I'm gonna be having a capital meeting, and as soon as I get something scheduled, but hopefully within the next 2 weeks, I would like to hear that we still have a consensus. I like talking on air. I'm voting yes for lights at that place, not only because we're spending $3 million and the residents for security purposes, but even it extends the usage of that park all the way through spring through, November. So I'm in favor of it, depending on if we have to have a debate but are we still a consensus that we want lights there now that that particular neighborhood is for it?
Yes.
Scotty's saying yes, you're saying yes.
I'm a yes, yeah.
Okay, because I want to move forward with it potentially, you know, how we're going to budget for it. Are we going to put something aside this year? Is it going to go into next year? You know, let's get site specific on where we think the biggest need is. Is it going to be by the basketball courts? Is it going to be by the soccer field? Is it going to be by the playground? So I want to start putting a little bit of time and effort into doing that, that's all. Thank you.
And I think we also talked, we didn't know at the time about the pickleball courts opportunity. I know we had talked about pickleball there too, which, so assessing whether we still need to have that there. Because I think we were also gonna lighting that if we were gonna put something there, but we may not need that now, or at least not have to do it initially with this project and could look at that later, you know. But yeah, I was definitely in favor of it. Just, I always like to, anytime we're adding lights or something that could potentially affect the residents near the park. I realize we have to look at the whole community, but I still like to get input and make sure they're aware of our plans when we're putting in lights, because they will be the ones directly affected. So I always like to get their feedback as far as, a lot of lighting we get now is a lot better where it's aimed down at the area that you're playing in and not just shining out, you know, into the open. So the lighting that we have is a lot much better with the LED, but I still like to get that input. I'm glad that we did the survey. I'm glad the residents came back in the area to say that they are in favor of it, so.
And I want to work with the ones that, you know, may be negatively impacted. I do know, according to Commissioner Walls, that a couple individuals spoke with you, either came in person and that are against the project. And again, I'll respect that individual or, you know, whoever voted no. Like you said, I'm looking at the big picture, but at the same time, using that individuals or the no group as a sounding board on why we can do it better or how we can minimize what they feel is a negative impact to the lights.
Yeah, I could just say, speak for sports lighting in general. It's with LED now, it's literally, there is no spillage. There's no such thing as that anymore. It is pinpoint on the field. Sure, you will see a light, but it's not shining in your house. And sports lighting's come a long, long way, even from when we did Lions Park project.
They don't have to be as high anymore.
No, it's really come a long way, and you don't get that, they call it spillage or.
The halo effect is
Yeah.
minimized and the spillage is reduced.
And, you know, I don't think we, you know, like commissioners, you know, we don't have to decide, but, you know, we'd be respectful on the timing of when we'd want to shut them off.
Oh, absolutely.
We're not going to be leaving lights on until late at night and,
So not till 2 in the morning.
right.
And I think the other issue on that is not only lighting, but because you are later, the sound, you know, is also an issue too. So maybe we can look at
Right.
any way to buffer the sound that could affect them.
Lots of trees.
Maybe along the edges, so. I know those are the two things that normally come out when you increase the activity, is the sound because of the activity and then the lighting
Yeah.
shining in their houses. So if we can try and address those as we're doing the planning, that would be, to minimize that, I think that's a plus.
Okay.
Any other questions on old business? New business, any new business? Okay, we're payment of the bills then. New motion for payment of the bills for March 23rd, 2023, in the amount of $182,093.31. For March 31st, 2023, in the amount of $125,659.21. And for April 6th, 2023, in the amount of $137,318.61.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any questions on the bills?
I just had one for Brad on the March 23rd. Sometimes I think you just test me, Brad. Property damage, it's on page 1. We paid Allegra Marketing for $2,300. It says on here, base, replace pirate hats. But then it's under property damage repairs. So I'm like, what is that?
That's stuff that was in the basement.
There's
for
lots of
the-
flood.
Lots of flood. So we'll be getting reimbursed for that. That's why it's in
So
that.
that's
The
Pirates
track.
Cove merchandise
It
that
was
was down there?
marketing promotional
Oh,
items that were in the
stuff, Kelly?
basement, correct. So that's stuff that's a code that we track for reimbursements. for-
Remember the old pirate hats, right? that we-
No.
I can get you one if you want.
Sure, I'll wear it next meeting.
Any other questions?
Jim Kelly.
Any other questions on the,
Pink or black?
any other questions on the bills? Okay, we have a motion and a second. Can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes.
Commissioner Bianchi.
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
President Cook.
Yes. And lastly, we need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Can you make a capital meeting next
Roll
week?
call.
Oh, sorry.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Bianchi.
Yes.
Commissioner Carlson,
Yes.
Commissioner O'Malley,
Yes, Kathy.
Oops.
President Cook.
Yes. And meeting is adjourned.
No?
Won't be here.